In the House of Commons, Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner is pressed on new pernicious top-down house-building targets. She was asked a question, but in typical Rayner fashion swerves it and goes on an irrelevant ramble whilst stuttering her words. As always, we will check out the clip, react, and then go over all of the latest British political news from the last 24 hours. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to Parliament Watch to keep up to date with all things Westminster. So as stated in the intro, in this clip we have Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner swerving a question on new house-building targets. Listen, WHO will pay is the question. Check it out.
Successful development. But from experience, it has to be something that you do with people and not to people. This is the latter. These pernicious top-down targets have the practical effect at ground level of setting one town against another, one village against another, and one local community against another. And given the Chancellor's statement on public spending yesterday, who will pay for the tens of billions of pounds of infrastructure that would be required to make all of this work? All experience shows that on development and house building, the man or the woman in Whitehall really does not know best. Yeah. Why then are you going back to the old, failed way of doing it, which will not work?
Yeah. Prime Minister.
The important thing is our new method is clearly based upon what the housing stock and the affordability and the need in their area. This is a need that has created a housing crisis in this country, and that is why the electorate elected the Labour government on the mandate that we did, because we said we are going to fix the housing crisis that we've inherited.
What are your thoughts on Angela Rayner? Let me know in the comments. In other political news, the budget could kill the affordable pint as brewers and hospitality firms warn the Chancellor that they will be driven out of business by further costs. Rachel Reeves has been warned that raising taxes on alcohol and pubs would lead to a fall in revenues by depressing sales of drink. In a letter sent to Reeves, hospitality chiefs also suggest Angela Rayner's proposals to boost workers' rights could cause a staffing crisis. It comes after it was reported that the Chancellor was considering an increase in alcohol duty in the budget, and also failed to confirm that 75% business rates relief for pubs will be extended beyond next April. The alcohol duty was frozen for almost 3 years under the Conservatives, until August 2023 when it was increased by 10%. Drinks companies say they are already facing a cost of doing business crisis. A letter organised by the British Beer and Pub Association, BBPA, said, "The industry simply cannot afford other costs, let alone tax increases. Put plainly, for thousands of pubs and brewers across the country, there is nothing left to give. The cost of this will be borne by brewers and pubs initially, but, ultimately, it is the customer who will have to foot the bill." It was signed by a number of industry giants including Greene King, Youngs, Heineken UK and Wetherspoons. The firms have called for Reeves to follow the 5-point plan for pubs she revealed during the election campaign. They wrote, "If that plan is not delivered, we will see pubs close and the end of the affordable pint. When a pub struggles to survive, it cannot continue to be the beating heart of a community, keep employing staff, or contribute to economic growth." Alcohol duty, depending on a drink's strength, on a pint of 4.5% beer at a pub is 49 pence. While the average price of a pint overall, covering all strengths, is £4.98. Industry experts have previously raised concerns about alcohol duty increases after Rishi Sunak's rise led to a drop in revenues. Labour's class warfare is back on the agenda, and the consequences will damage all wealth. It's easy to attack rich people, and the idea of taxing millionaires sounds appealing, but the truth is, we need these rich individuals to stay in the UK. They don't just sit on piles of money. They invest in businesses, create jobs, and drive economic growth. When they leave, it's not only their tax revenue that goes with them. It's the jobs, the innovation, and the investment, and they will leave if we make it harder for them to stay. We've already had a taste of what is to come if we carry on down this path. Recent analysis shows that the share of millionaires in the UK is set to fall by 20% over the next 5 years. Countries like Germany and France are set to gain millionaires, while Britain is losing them. And why? Because our tax system is becoming increasingly hostile to wealth creators. People are preparing to pack their bags, and they're not just worried about income tax or inheritance tax. It's the non-refundable VAT. It's the proposed exit taxes. Rich people don't need to stay here, and they are mobile and will leave if taxes are too high. They can live anywhere they please, and many are already leaving for fear of what will be in the budget. While I was in government, I argued for a return to the non-dom rules as they were when Gordon Brown was Prime Minister, before all the changes began to frighten them away. Tax, after all, is about practicality, not morality. It's not about punishing people for being successful. It's about making sure that the system works for everyone. If these non-dom policies push more people to leave, we'll have less money in the economy, which means less money for public services, and the least well-off suffer the most. This is what socialist class war economics leads to. Already, the very rich already pay a disproportionate share of tax. The top 1% of earners contribute nearly 30% of all income tax. Remember in 1979, when the top tax rate was 98%, they paid 6% of all tax. Their departure isn't just a minor inconvenience, it's a massive hit to the exchequer. Some economists are already calling for an exit tax, which is encouraging people to pack their bags already. But forcing people to pay capital gains tax on unrealized assets as they leave isn't going to make them stay. It's only going to drive more of them out the door. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. This is about the future of the British economy. We need to be attracting the best and brightest talent from around the world, not driving them away. The government needs to rethink this policy before it's too late, because once they're gone, and we'll be left with a weaker economy and less money for the very public services we're trying to protect, and the poorest in our country will become poorer still. Lastly, the Labour Party has been accused of more cronyism and sleaze, after allegedly pressuring the Metropolitan Police to provide American pop star Taylor Swift with a royal-style escort during her recent London concerts. Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper and London Mayor Sadiq Khan intervened to secure the VIP treatment for Swift during her Eras tour shows at Wembley Stadium, which typically reserved for senior royalty and politicians. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all next time.